Hello everyone, this is your course instructor Khushwant Patnani and we are seeing the chapter Waves. Let's continue. So we have with us today Atul, Karuna, Mahila attending the class. Let's start. So Atul, will you brief us with whatever we have read in the chapter Waves? How have we connected it to this current chapter, the current unit that we are studying, oscillation and waves? What is the relation between the two, oscillation and waves, and whatever we have read today morning? Can you brief it all quickly in 5 minutes? Yes, Atul, get going.
So first we studied about the wave equation, which is y equals to a sine kx plus minus
Just,
omega t plus
just,
minus phi.
just a second. So please make sure that you are coordinating with my writing speed, right? So just a minute. One by one, you keep saying, and I'll keep writing it here. Okay. So we are currently doing the chapter oscillation and waves. The chapters or the units oscillations and waves, and in that we are seeing waves right now, for which in the morning we had a discussion of some theory for waves, mostly numericals we'll be solving in this class. Okay, all right. So yes, so get going and tell me. Yeah.
So sir, the wave equation is y equals to a sine kx plus minus omega t plus minus
Okay,
phi,
have something
and we compare.
right, something called as wave equation. So class, try and recall that we all had read an equation for SHM is given as y is equal to a sine omega t plus phi. This was a general equation for SHM where displacement of the particle undergoing SHM is depending upon time in this fashion, right? Time is the only variable. Remember, time is the only variable on which y is depending. Rest other variables are constant. So a is a constant, omega is a constant, and phi is also a constant, right? I hope you all can recall this. Okay. Now, how about the wave equation? So Atul is saying that the wave equation is y is equal to a sine kx plus, let's say, plus minus whatever omega t plus minus phi. Here also you can have plus minus, right? Yeah. Tell me ahead of this, what did we read? This is the general form of wave equation, right? What next did we read? Yeah. Where A is,
Then a is amplitude,
okay. A is
uh,
amplitude.
k is
What is
wave
Y?
number,
What is Y?
y displacement,
Of what? Displacement of what? Read the notes.
particle, displacement
Ah,
of particle.
displacement of the particle. Which particle? The particle which is
Uh, particle.
the particle of the
So
medium in which the wave is present, right?
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Tell me next.
Then k is wave number,
K is called as angular wave number. Give the name as angular wave number,
angular wave number.
right? So K is called as angular. I'll write it separately also. Maybe here Y is displacement of particle. Then we have A is amplitude. Just a second, right? Yeah. So yeah, Y is displacement, A is amplitude. What does amplitude mean, by the way?
Uh,
Right?
Highest,
Right? Y max. Yes.
maximum displacement vessels, maximum displacement.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. What about K?
K is angular wave number.
K is called as angular wave number. Do we have any formula for K?
Yes, the 2 pi by lambda.
2 pi by lambda. Very good. Yeah. What next?
Then omega is angular frequency.
Omega is angular frequency. What does angular frequency mean, by the way? Do you have any formula or any meaning of it?
Formula angular frequency is 2 pi f
2 pi
or 2 pi by t.
or 2 pi by t. Any meaning? Can you tell? Acha, first, can you tell what is frequency? Number of vibrations per second called as
Yes, second. Yes,
frequency, right? Number of vibrations
yes.
per second is called frequency, right? So, can I say angular vibrations per second is angular frequency,
Uh,
right? And
yes, sir.
frequency is vibrations or oscillations happening per second, right? Per second. Oscillations per second. So angular frequency is angular oscillations per second, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about phi? What is phi?
Uh, Phi is phase constant or initial phase.
Initial phase. Absolutely correct. Initial phase. Or it is also called as phase constant or phase constant. And we call this as initial phase angle. Initial phase angle. Why?
Initial phase angle.
Because this entire term after sign is called as phase. Is called as phase. Super duper important, right? Super duper important. Correct. What next? Yeah.
So then we studied about the different types of waves, different
So
kinds of waves.
did we
Uh,
read something as something like this? One wave which moves in one direction, positive x direction. That will have the equation y is equal to, yeah, tell me.
Positive x direction. Y
Will
equals
have
to
it will have same sign or opposite sign.
acha, acha, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. If both the particles, both the terms in the phase are in the same sign of the same sign, then okay. First, I will. If both the terms in the phase are in opposite sign, then it will move in positive x direction, and if both are in same sign.
Just once look at your notes, and confirm what I'm writing on the screen, right? Yes. Yeah. Confirm this,
Yes, sir.
Atul. Now repeat that whenever the two terms in the phase, what are these? Each one is called a term. So when two terms in the phase are opposite in sign,
2 seconds.
then this is the equation of a wave which is traveling in positive x. This is the equation of a wave which is traveling in positive x direction. Whereas here, just class, have a look. If we have the two terms both are in the same, though both are having the same sign, then this wave is traveling in the negative x direction. Then this wave is traveling in negative x direction, right? Okay. So, what was the next thing that we read, Atul? Yeah, tell me.
So then different kinds of waves, sir. Transverse wave and
We have different types
longitudinal
of.
wave,
Okay, so we read that there is something called
different
as
types.
transverse wave, right? So what is a transverse wave? Where particles are oscillating in a direction perpendicular to the direction of motion, right?
Perpendicular to it.
Here
Yes, sir.
the particle vibration or the direction of vibration of particles or oscillation of particles is perpendicular to the wave velocity. The wave velocity, right? Now, what next? What is the other kind of wave that we read?
Longitudinal waves.
Longitudinal waves, right? What is the difference? What does longitudinal wave? How do you characterize them?
Uh, Particle traveling in a direction parallel to the wave velocity.
Here So here particle was oscillating in a direction in transverse way in a perpendicular direction to the direction of traveling of wave, whereas here the particle and the wave both are oscillating in the same direction. So such kind of wave is called as longitudinal wave. Such kind of wave is called as longitudinal wave, right? Okay, what next? Yeah, next was
Uh,
what kind of waves did we read? Mechanical and non-mechanical, right?
Mechanical, non-mechanical. Yes, sir.
What is mechanical wave?
Mechanical waves require a medium
Okay,
for their for
mechanical
traveling.
waves require a medium, whereas non-mechanical waves do not
Non-mechanical.
require a medium, right?
Don't. Yes, sir.
Okay, here no medium required. Can you give an example, by the way, of each of them?
Hmm. So sound wave is
Yes, sound wave is an
mechanical
example
wave.
of mechanical wave. It requires a medium to travel, whereas light wave or electromagnetic,
Light, yes,
right, which are
yes, sir.
let's say talk about light or visible form of light, which is coming from sun to earth, that does not require the medium because there is vacuum, right? Okay, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
Are we clear with this concept until here, Atul?
Yes, sir.
So the other members in the class, right, if you all are also very clear with what we have read until now, please raise your hand. Yes, class. If we have read until now, whatever we have read, if you have noted it down and if you are clear with it, raise your hand. Yes, class. First,
Sir,
note it
I
down.
have a doubt.
Yeah, Karuna, tell me.
So what is x in the wave equation?
Yes, so I have actually given an answer to this in the morning class. So I'll just explain it here. Atul, tell what we had discussed. What is x? Let's say on a rope, I produce a wave. Let's say on a rope, I produce a wave, right? And this wave is going towards right, you know? So let's say this is the point of generation of rope. Let's say this is the point of generation of wave. This is the point of generation of wave, and this wave is traveling like this in the towards the right. Okay. Here there is a person A, while here there is another person B, which is traveling on the other side of the rope. Okay. Now what is happening is you want to see what is Y and what is X. Atul, can you tell? Uh, yeah, can you tell Atul, others, what does the
Uh,
concept of X and Y mean? Yeah.
I think so. Y is the displacement in the y-axis and x is the displacement in the
So
x-axis.
what does it mean if I am taking a particular point on the rope? When I'm taking a particular point on the rope, and I plot
Oh,
a graph between y and x, and I plot a graph between y and x, then this distance is called y, whereas this horizontal distance is called x. This horizontal distance is called
yes,
x.
sir.
Now do you
Yes, sir.
recall this? Now
Yes,
to
sir. Yes,
recall
sir.
this. So Karuna, the point is whenever a wave is traveling, what happens is it travels this way. See here. Let's say, I'll give you an example, okay? So let's say you are standing here, okay? And you have a stretched rope, right? And on the other side, there is somebody else standing, okay? Now, what you do is you generate a wave from this side, A, and here you have B, okay? Now, as you generate a wave from A, this is how the rope will now look like. Right? You are standing here. You generated a wave. Now this wave will travel. So when the wave is traveling, what is happening? The rope, that section of the rope, this section of the rope is assuming the shape of the wave, So basically, Y means how far, above this line, how far above or below this line is the position of the rope. So let's say when I talk about this line, this line is called as line of zero disturbance. So line of zero disturbance. So when a wave is formed in this pattern, right here, when a wave is formed in this pattern, and let's say we are talking about this point here. So basically what X means and what Y means, this is X, the vertical displacement, right? So this vertical displacement will keep varying. Initially it will become this, then finally it will come here, right? And X means the horizontal displacement or horizontal distance of that point from the point of origination of the wave. Are we now clear, Karuna?
Yes, sir.
So basically the Y value is depending upon both X and T, right? And a general wave equation is given as, Y is equal to F of AX plus BT. Have you noted this down, Atul, in the morning class, right?
Yes, sir.
And we can write this as Y is equal to F of X plus BT, right? Therefore,
yes, sir.
wave velocity V is equal to B by A. Now, can you recall
B
this,
by A.
Atul?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, Karuna, is your doubt clear? Is the concept clear now? What is X?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Basically, the Y value is depending upon both X and T now. Whereas in simple harmonic motion, Y used to just depend upon T. So basically, a particle used to change its position or X or Y with just respect to T. But now what is happening? All of these particles are actually vibrating in their own mean positions as the wave is traveling towards right. I will repeat, what did I say? I am saying that as you generate a wave, right, over here, and as this wave is traveling towards right, all the particles on the rope, are not moving ahead. They are vibrating at their mean positions only. They are vibrating about their mean positions only, and they are vibrating in such a way that every particle is in the state of simple harmonic motion. I repeat, every particle on the rope is in the position of simple harmonic motion as the wave is traveling towards right. What is wave in essence? I discussed it this morning, right? So the video isn't uploaded, it will be uploaded shortly. So when I upload that video and this one, you will see that I've explained that wave is nothing but a disturbance. What is wave? Atul, tell everyone what is wave? A disturbance, right?
Yes, sir.
What does it do? What does this disturbance do?
It helps in transporting energy.
Yes, wave is basically a disturbance which transports energy. Wave is a disturbance which transports energy. So wave is a disturbance which transports energy from one point to another, right? And every particle does not move or go ahead. Rather, it vibrates about its main position, right? Have you written this down with you, Atul? Read that point for everyone. Yes, Atul.
Yes, sir. All particles in the medium do not actually move or get displaced along with the wave.
Slowly, so that everyone can understand. So, class, first note this down. This is the equation of progressive wave. Progressive means something which is moving or progressing, right? We will also read about standing waves, right? So standing waves will have a different equation. So this one is an equation of a progressive wave, a wave which is in motion, which is moving, right? Yes, Atul, slowly and steadily read what you have written now. Yes.
Uh, all particles in the medium do not actually move or get displaced along with the wave. They just vibrate above their mean positions.
Hmm. Class, note this down. Note this down that particles of the medium only vibrate about mean position as the wave passes. As wave passes. Class, please note this down. As the wave passes, particles just vibrate about their mean position. Class, if you have written this down, whatever I've written on the screen, raise your hand. Others can bring their hands down. I'll wait until you all have written this down. Yes. Please note down everything and raise your hand. Yes. Whatever I've written on the screen, note it down and raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So all have written. Good. Let's move to the next page. Okay. Yeah. Atul, read next what we have written slowly so that everyone can understand. Yes, Atul.
Sir, we discussed about the velocity of the particle.
Mm-hmm.
We differentiated the wave equation and got the velocity of the particle.
Yes. Class, listen. We are writing y is equal to a sine kx minus or plus omega t, let's say, plus phi as the wave equation. This is called as wave equation. Now, when we are differentiating this wave equation, where what does y tell us? Atul, what does y tell us? Displacement of
Displacement of
particle.
wave in the
Particle.
x-axis. Yes,
Displacement of
particle.
particle. So when you will
Particle.
differentiate displacement of particle, what you will get?
A velocity of particle.
When you differentiate displacement of particle, what you get is the velocity of the particle. Very, very important, right? Note it down, everyone. When you differentiate displacement of the particle, you get velocity of the particle. Tell everyone how much does it come? Yes. Assuming x is constant,
Oh,
right?
yes, a omega. Uh,
Huh?
a
Sine
omega
of,
cos kx plus
okay, cos. Okay, good. Cos of, yes, cos of
kx plus omega t.
plus phi, right?
Plus phi.
Right? And why does omega come here? Because we are differentiating with respect to
With respect to time.
time. Very good. Very good. Yeah. What next?
Sir, then we
What did we conclude? What did
took the ratio of
what did
okay.
we conclude?
So, sir, the maximum,
Ha.
the maximum velocity of the particle is a omega.
Ha. So from this we understand that Vp maximum value or maximum value of the particle or maximum velocity of particle velocity is a omega. A omega. Okay. Did we write, by the way, any other things along with this expression, Atul? Here, did we also study about wave speed or wave velocity?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What
Wave
was it?
speed.
Yeah. Wave speed or wave
Wave
velocity given as
speed is
lambda,
lambda by
lambda
t.
upon time period. Lambda upon time period, right?
Time period.
And what did we do? We divided and multiplied this equation by 2 pi, by 2 pi, right? And 2 pi by t is called as omega. 2 pi by t is called as omega. And if you bring this lambda below 2 pi, so it will become 2 pi by lambda, and 2 pi by lambda is called k. Is called k. So therefore, we have wave velocity. So class, these are two different terms. Very important for you all to understand the difference. This one is maximum particle. This entire term. See here, you know, very closely listen to me. This entire term is telling me variation of particle velocity, variation of particle velocity with time, variation of particle velocity with time, whereas this term is telling me maximum particle velocity. This term is telling me maximum particle velocity. Very, very important to understand this, right? And this is not same as wave velocity. Why? Because wave velocity is, we have just read, distance traveled by wave per unit time in which that distance is traveled. So when the wave travels by lambda distance, it takes t time. So we have, this is time period, this is time period, and this is wavelength. So wavelength per unit time period gives me wave velocity, right? Which is nothing but, we just proved it to be equal to omega by k is equal to v. This is called as wave velocity. Wave velocity is omega by k. So now we have two expressions, class. One is wave velocity is equal to omega by k. Then we have maximum particle velocity. Maximum particle velocity, or Vp is equal to a omega. See here, a omega, Vp max. Clear for all? Atul, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Karuna, Mahila, Monica, is this concept clear for all?
Yes, sir.
Pakka. Okay. It is a very important thing, right? Please make sure that you attend all classes. Also, if sometimes because of any network issue or something, you're not able to attend, at least after that class, or maybe let's say whenever I upload this, please make sure that you will watch that video, right? Because in order to connect whatever we are reading now to whatever we have read in the morning, it's important, it's imperative, right? That you see both the videos. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Atul, what next did we read? Yeah.
So then we took their ratios.
Took their ratio. Okay, let's take the ratio. So we get Vp max whole by Vp. What we'll get? A omega whole by omega by k. What do we get? AK. Right? Omega and omega gets cancelled. This is the ratio of, class, remember, this is not the ratio of particle velocity and wave velocity. No. This is the ratio of maximum particle velocity and wave velocity. Very important for you to understand this. Okay. Yeah. What next, Atul? What next did we read?
So then phase change.
We understood about, yeah, we understood that there is something called as phase, right? There is something called as phase constant. This entire term is called phase, whereas this term, only phi, this term is called as phase constant. This term is called as phase constant. So suppose now I just talk about phase change, right? Now I just talk about phase change. So we gave phase change or delta phi, right? See from here, class, you know, phase change is given by, first we'll relate phi in terms of k and x. See how phase change is given by k times of delta x, k times of delta x, where what is x? What is x? Or delta x, sorry, what is delta x, Atul?
Path difference.
Path difference. Delta x is path difference. So for every path difference, there is some phase change. There is some phase change. Okay. What was the other relation, Atul? Now class, have a look, right? This is a short trick in order to learn this relation. Phase change is also related to omega t. See, tell me how. Yes. Phase change is equal to omega into
Omega delta t.
delta t. Where what is delta t? Where what is delta t?
Uh, Time interval.
Time interval. Now, what does this mean, class? When I'm writing delta phi, is what does it imply? What is its meaning? Can you tell everyone, Atul?
Uh, so it means that phase is dependent on both part difference and time interval.
So, class, let's say I am talking about a wave. Okay, this wave is given by this expression. Right now, let's say I talk about 2 points. Let's say I talk about 2 points. This is one, this is two. Let's say third point. Let's say fourth point. Let's say fifth point. Okay. So the distance between these points, what will it be, right? So let's say I name the points. The points are named as A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. Now I say that I want to measure, or first of all, I am given with something. Length of the wave. This is one wave, right? Length of the wave is given as lambda, and therefore it is called as wavelength, right? Now this wave is very much symmetrical with respect to time. Not exactly, but very much. So half of it means distance between A and C. How much should it be, Atul? Yeah, tell me. Distance between A and C should be
Lambda by 2.
lambda by 2. Similarly, distance between A and B should be
Lambda by 4.
very good, lambda by 4. I hope everyone of you can understand that how I can divide wave into equal number of or different types of intervals depending upon time. Now let's say I talk about path difference. So what is path difference? Path difference between A and B is lambda by 2. Similarly, path difference between A and C is lambda by 4, and here this is lambda by 2. Now let's say I talk about path difference between A and B. Karuna, can you try path difference between A and B?
So it will be pi by 2 plus
Pi by 2 plus? See here?
1 pi by 4.
Yeah. So 1 by 2 and 1 by 4. How much is it? 3/4. 1/4 plus
3/4.
half. How much? 3/4, right?
Yeah.
So this will be 3/4 of lambda. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Easy, no? This one is half of lambda. This one is 1/4 of lambda. Whenever you add 1/4 to half, you will get 3/4. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mahila, can you tell me on this same level, let's say I talk about one more point F, right? And ask you, what is the path difference between E and F? Yes, Mahila. Can you try?
Just a second. Nah.
Path difference
Sir, it's lambda by
lambda by, see this entire, see here, this entire E to G distance is lambda by 2. So half of it should be
pi by 4, sir.
pi by 4. Lambda by 4, not pi by 4. How much?
Yes.
Lambda by
Lambda by
4, right?
4.
Clear? Okay. Now tell me
Yes.
what should be the path difference between C to F. Try. From the figure, you don't have to calculate. Just see and tell me. Yeah. See, this is the path difference. See, I'm writing it here. C to F. This one, C to F. This one. Yeah, try, Mahila.
Sir,
I know you can do it.
sir,
Try.
it's 3 by 4 lambda.
Very good, very good. Is the concept now clear? What is path difference? Pakkam pakka ekdam.
Yes,
Huh?
yes,
Sure.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, good, good, very good. Okay, now, Atul, what next did we read? Did we read anything apart from all of this? If yes, please make everyone revise it. Yeah.
So then we studied about speed of wave on stretched string.
Okay. Then we saw topic speed of wave on stretched string. On stretched
Uh,
string. Okay. Or did we read something else also?
yes, so then speed of wave in any other medium.
Speed of wave on solids, liquids, and gases. Separately we read, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
speed of wave on stretched string, what is it given by?
V equals to under root T by mu.
V is equal to under root T by mu, where what is T?
T is tension.
Tension in the string, right? And what is mu?
Yes, sir, tension. Mu is linear mass density.
Mu is linear mass density. It is defined as, give the formula, yeah? Mass per unit,
Volume by length.
mass per unit length. It is given as mass per
Oh,
unit
sorry,
length.
mass.
Okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And in order to transform this, let us multiply divide by volume. Let us multiply divide by volume. So it becomes density into cross section area. Density into cross section area. Suppose this is that string along which the sound wave is, or around which any transverse wave is traveling, right? So this area, this cross section area, if this is A, right, and the density of the material is rho, then this mu or the mass density can also be written as rho times of A. This is the thing that we understood, right? Correct? And this mu is also given as mass per unit length, right? Atul, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Pakka.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what next? Yeah, tell everyone.
So then we speed of wave in different kinds of medium, like in solid, it is
Then we saw speed of wave in different media, right? In different media. So what are the different media that we saw? First is solid. Yes, tell me what
solid.
is it?
Yes, sir. In solid, it is V equals to under root Y by rho.
That what is Y? Tell everyone.
Y is Young's modulus and rho is density.
Okay, Y is Young's modulus and rho we know is density. Density of what?
Density.
Density of what?
Density of the medium.
Medium. That is that solid medium, right? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What next?
And in liquids, V equals to under root B by rho, where B is bulk modulus and rho is density.
B is bulk modulus of that liquid. Okay. What next did we read?
And in gases, the velocity is given by two formulas, Newton's formulas and Laplace formula.
Okay. There are two formulas for velocity of wave in a gas. One is given by Newton's formula. Yes. What is Newton's formula?
V equals to under root P by rho,
Okay.
where P is pressure.
Okay.
And there is an extra term in Laplace formula, that is under root gamma P by rho.
Okay. What about P by rho? Can we write it in some other term? Try
P by
recall.
rho. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think you haven't.
But we can write it as yes, sir.
Please revise from next class. Okay. Pm is equal to rho RT. So this gives us P by rho is equal to RT by M, right? So here we can
Yes, sir.
replace P by rho by RT by M. What is RT and what is M? Tell everyone.
RT. R is universal gas constant. T
Okay.
is absolute temperature.
What is absolute temperature?
And M is molar mass. Temperature, which is in kelvins.
And what is lambda?
Lambda is wavelength.
Lambda is What is gamma?
Gamma is adiabatic constant.
Adiabatic constant. Gamma is adiabatic constant. How is it given in terms of Cp and Cv? Any idea?
Cp by Cv equals to gamma.
Very good. What is M?
M is molar mass.
Molar mass. Will you put the unit in gram per mole or kg per mole?
Kg per mole.
Very good. Let's say I have M value for oxygen as 32, right? 32, no? Yeah. So let's say
Yes, sir.
32 gram per mole. So what will you
Gram
put
per
the
mole.
value? You will put the value as 32 into 10 to
32
the
into
power
10
minus
raised to
3
power minus 3
kg per mole. Correct?
kg per mole.
In SI units.
Yes, sir.
Everything has to be done in SI units, right? Gram is not an SI unit. Kg is the SI unit. Very important to remember. Now, did I give you an example? Let's say you are asked to find out the ratio of velocity of gas in nitrogen is to, let's say, helium. How will you do it? Or, yeah, just a minute, okay?
So,
So, class,
okay.
your question. Everyone, please note down everything written on page 4. Please note it down. Please note it down, everyone. Once written, raise your hand. Everything written on page 4. If you have noted it down, raise your hand. Yes. Class, as you have written this page, please raise your hand. Okay, good. Going to the next one. Once you have written everything on this page, please raise your hand. What is this formula called as? There is second formula. Atul, second one, this was Newton's formula. What is the second formula called as?
Laplace formula.
Laplace formula, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Class, please note down everything. Once you have done, please raise your hand. Okay. Class, written it down? Raise your hand if yes. Okay, great. So you can bring your hands down. Thank you. Now you have a question. Try this question. Everyone, try this question. Find out, find out the ratio of velocities in in hydrogen and in helium, both at both at T is equal to 300 Kelvin. T is equal to 300 Kelvin. Yeah. Try it out. Second one. Find out the ratio of velocities in nitrogen and that in oxygen, right? At temperatures 300 Kelvin and temperature 900 Kelvin respectively. So when I say respectively, I mean that temperature for nitrogen is 300 Kelvin and temperature for oxygen is 900 Kelvin, right? Now we need to find out these velocity values. Remember, here gamma values. You know, all of you have already done. Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by f. 1 plus 2 by f. Where what is f? F is degree of freedom. See here, this is a monoatomic gas. This is a diatomic gas, right? So now you'll know the gamma value, right? And what next? You know the temperature. Find out the ratios, class. You have 2 minutes each. So at 5 o'clock, I'll ask what's the answer. Yes, Atul, Mahila, Monica, Karuna, get going. Anukriti, yeah, get going. Take 2 to 3 minutes, solve this. Yes, using the formulas just told. Yes, get going, right? If you want a hint, although we have done this, Atul, tell everyone what is F value for a monoatomic gas? 3, right? For a
Yes,
diatomic
sir.
gas, for a diatomic gas,
Diatomic is 5.
5.
5.
So you have gamma value for monoatomic gas given as
1 plus 2 by 3, that is 5 by 3.
quickly 5 by 3. You have to remember this, Atul. Second time in the day.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
1 plus 2 by 5. How much?
And 7 by 5.
Ah, very important. Now they should be on the tongue, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Get going quickly. 3 minutes. Get the answers.
So, okay.
Yeah, take your time. Get the answers quickly. Yes, class. All right. So is everyone done? Anukriti, would you like to try? Yes. I'll help. Don't worry. If you're wrong, please try. Yes. Tell me how to solve the first question, Anukriti. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The
The
V is
ratio
given
of
by
the
under root of gamma RT by M.
yes, sir. Gamma RT by M
Okay.
divided. Okay, the ratio. So we'll have to take it for both.
So temperature is same, right, for both. So we'll take this first one. Hydrogen is to helium. So we'll have V hydrogen is to V helium is given by under root of here gamma upon M, right? Because T is same. Again, gamma by M,
R.
right? R will get
Yes, sir.
cancelled in the numerator and denominator, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the value of gamma for hydrogen? Tell me.
7 by 5. It's
Very
a
good.
diatomic
Why?
gas.
Because it is a diatomic gas. Very good. What about hydrogen's molar mass?
4.
4. Sure?
Yes, sir. 2
It's
plus
2, right? It's 2.
No. It's 2. 1 plus 1 is 2.
So you have this much divided by 2. What about for for helium?
gamma is 5 by 3
Yes.
and
Solar mass is?
the, and 4. The mass is 4.
Yes. Now you get this equation as under root of 7 by 5 into 2, right?
10.
By 5. Here you'll have 3 into 4, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we can
We have,
cancel it.
so we can have some cancellations in order 2 and 2, right? I think this is the only thing that we can do. So we'll have the expression as
42 by
by
25.
25, right? Okay, great. Are we clear with this concept, Anukriti?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Okay, what about the next one? Try the other one also. Or let's take it from Karuna this time. Karuna, would you like to try the next question? Yes.
Yes. V is gamma RT, root of gamma RT by M.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
So R and R will get cancelled. So gamma by M of
And gamma is also
and
for same, right? For same will be same gamma will be there
yeah,
because both are diatomic, right?
yeah,
So gamma and R both will get
yeah,
cancelled. So ultimately, what we need
yeah.
to take ratio is for T by M.
T by M.
Absolutely, absolutely. T by M
For
for nitrogen upon T by M for oxygen, right? Yeah. What next?
oxygen. Root of 300 by 9.
Try. Yes.
14. So T is 300 for nitrogen. So 300 by 14
Okay. What next? Are you sure it
by
will be 14? See, nitrogen as an atom, Karuna, nitrogen as an atom can be written as having molecular mass 14. But when you talk about nitrogen as a molecule, you always talk about its atomic mass, or now you no longer talk about its atomic mass, you talk about its molecular mass, right? So molecular mass will now be 28 and not 14. Are you clear with this concept, Karuna?
yes
That
sir.
in
Yes.
nitrogen you will actually take two nitrogen atoms, right? So this will be 28 and not 14, right? This is also a common error which students do, right? When I say them nitrogen, they might take it as nitrogen atom rather than taking it as nitrogen gas. But what is given in the question? Your question is telling me find out what is the velocity or ratio of velocities in nitrogen and oxygen. So when I say nitrogen and oxygen, I mean in diatomic state, the molecule or the gas structure. Am I clear?
Yes sir. Yes.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, tell me what is
By
molecular mass for oxygen?
by 32.
Very good. 32. Yeah. Do the calculations. So this will be 300 whole by 900 into 32 upon 28. Correct?
Yes sir.
So what will your equations be like? Tell me. Final answer will be
Uh, it
under root
will
8
be
by 21.
wait,
Right?
20. Yeah, under root 8 by 21.
Correct. Will this have any
Yes.
unit? Will this have any unit? Meter per second, right?
No sir.
Why? Why no unit?
So
It's velocity, no? Or it's a ratio?
yeah, it's a ratio, sir.
Ah, it's a ratio. Therefore, no units, right? Are
Yeah.
you sure of what you're saying?
Yes. Yes sir.
Pakka.
Yes sir.
It's
Yes
velocity,
sir.
right? Or it's ratio? Any doubt on
Ratio.
that? Ratio. Okay, good. Class, if these two questions and their explanations are clear to you, please raise your hand. Yes, class, get going. Okay, excellent. Thank you, class. You can bring your hands down. I hope everyone is now clear with this concept, right? Now let us see something very interesting. Now we are seeing something called as stationary waves, right? Now we are seeing something called as stationary waves. And before jumping into that, we'll see what is superposition. So this is also there in your class 12 Young's double slit experiment, right? When you talk about superposition of two light waves, but here there is superposition of two generally sound waves, right? Or you can call them any kind of waves, right? Transverse wave or longitudinal wave. This concept of superposition of waves, what does this mean, right? So this superposition of wave can lead to different phenomena, as I told you in the first class. It can lead to interference. Karuna, do you have these notes? Can you tell everyone what all can happen when two waves superimpose or get superposed on each other? One is interference, the other is concept of standing waves, right? Concept of standing waves.
Standing.
What next? Beats, right? What next? Beats, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Similarly, we'll also read after this, after superposition, we'll read Doppler effect, right? So these are now some topics that we'll be covering one by one, right? Yeah. So tell me, do you have any idea about what is interference, Karuna?
Yes.
Yes, tell everyone.
So
Whatever idea
interference
you
is
have.
when,
Need not be right always. You can tell anything. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Go.
interference is when two waves are in opposite directions and coming towards each other.
That is the concept of standing waves. That is the concept of standing waves. Don't confuse standing waves and interference. Just have a look in your notes.
Yeah.
So what is interference, class? Interference is when two waves which are having same frequency. Class, please note this down. When two waves having same frequency, right, come together from two different sources which are coherent. So two waves coming from different sources superpose, and these sources have to be coherent. What does coherent mean? Anyone, do you know about it? Coherent means the sources should produce same frequency, waves, right? So for interference to take place, if I ask you what is one necessary condition, what is one necessary condition for interference to take place, then that is called as coherent sources should be there. Coherent sources, that means two waves will superimpose each other, two waves will superimpose or superpose each other, and they will cause interference only when the sources from which they have come have same frequency, right? So the wave should have same frequency, very important, right? So you will write in superposition, y is equal to y1 plus y2. Amplitude can be different, but frequency should be same, right? So when frequency is same, omega is also same because omega is 2 pi f. Because omega is 2 pi f, right? Now you have, right, whatever be the value of y1 and y2. Suppose y1 is a sine omega t plus kx, right? And suppose y2 is, this was suppose a1, this is a2. This is a2 sine omega t plus kx, right, minus phi, or let's say plus phi, whatever. So here when you substitute or add these equations here, whatever final displacement you will get, final displacement, right? Let's say you can write this as y is equal to a sine of omega t plus kx plus theta. This will be the equation that you will get when you add y1 and y2. The net displacement. This is basically, what is this? There are two waves. See here, there are two waves, right? We add them. They should have same frequency. Very important. They should have same frequency, right? So now this will give us a new wave. This is the equation of a new wave. This one. This is the equation of a new wave, right? Such that this new amplitude is given as under root of, this new amplitude is given as under root of a1 square plus a2 square plus 2 a1 a2 plus 2 a1 a2 cos phi plus 2 a1 a2 cos phi. Class, please write this down. And you have tan of theta is equal to a2 sin phi whole by a2 sin phi whole by a1 plus a2 cos phi. So this is just like vector additions. I hope you all remember when we had done vector additions, we had done similar kind of calculations, right? Mahila, can you recall? Mahila, can you recall that we did such similar kind of thing in vectors?
Yes, sir.
Now we have interferences of two types. It's called constructive. Interference is of two types. It's called constructive and destructive interference. It's called constructive and destructive interference. Constructive interference has phi. Acha, can anyone tell me what is the difference of phase between these two waves? Atul, can you tell me what is the difference of phase between these two waves, or phase difference
So
between
phi.
waves? Phi. See why? Why did I say phi has phase difference? Because this one wave has phase omega t plus kx. Next one has omega t plus kx plus phi. Therefore, we have phase difference. Phase difference is equal to phi in this case. Is it clear to you, Atul? That when I say phase difference, I should mean phase of one, let's say theta one, right? Phase of two, let's say theta two. Difference between them is giving me phase difference. Are we clear with this, Atul?
Yes, sir.
So here, let's say phase is phi 1 and here phase is phi 2. So phase difference, what would it mean? The phase difference, class, please take this down. Phase difference will be equal to delta phi, which is phi 2 minus phi 1, and that is equal to how much, Atul? Phi, right?
Phi, yes.
Okay. So what is the value of phi for constructive and destructive? Do you have an idea about it, Atul? Whenever
Uh,
whenever phi is equal to, right? Um, n pi. Whenever phi is equal to n pi, then it's a constructive interference. N is any number between 0, 1, 2, and so on. Right? Clear? Similarly, what is destructive interference? Destructive interference is when the phi value is equal to odd multiple of 90. So I can write this as just a second, class. Just give me a second. Please. Class, please note this down until this point. Just give me a second. Yeah, class, let's continue. So where we were, I was telling you all constructive and destructive interference, right? So if you all have noted until this point, please raise your hand. Until this point, if you have noted, please raise your hand. This page, if this page is completed, right? We are seeing interference. If until interference is done, please raise your hand. If until interference you have noted, please raise your hand. Mahila, are you done? Okay. Now class, have a look once again, okay? I'm talking about interference. In interference, we are saying that it has two types. One is constructive, while the other is destructive. In constructive interference and destructive interference, there are two things. Two waves should have a phase difference and two waves should have a path difference. I will give the path difference. You all find out the phase difference. Karuna, can you recall the formula between path and phase difference and tell all of us? Yes, Karuna. The formula for relation between path difference and phase difference is yes. K into
So K into delta x
what is K? 2 pi by
T, 2 pi by L,
lambda.
lambda.
Ah,
Lambda.
2 pi by lambda. Now, suppose I say in constructive interference, path difference is n lambda. Path difference is n lambda. And in constructive and in destructive interference, it is n plus 1 by 2, or I can say odd interval of lambda by 2. Yeah, I can say, let's say n plus 1 by 2 lambda, right? Or I say odd multiple of lambda by 2, right? Can all of you find out what will be the phase difference respectively for constructive and destructive? Yes, class. Yeah. So we'll take the answer from Mahila. Mahila, can you substitute these values? You just have to substitute these over here and find out the answer. Try, Mahila. Let me know. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See what we'll do? It is 2 pi by lambda into delta x, that is n lambda, right? So you'll get answer as 2n pi, right? 2n pi, correct? Mahila, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How about destructive interference? Do the calculation, tell me.
Yes, sir. N plus 1. Sir, it's 2n plus 1.
Into pi.
2 pi.
Into pi, not 2 pi. See, 2 and 2
Yes.
get cancelled, right? So you have 2n plus 1 into pi. Are we clear with this? Just verify. Don't hurry. Don't hurry. Relax. Calm down. See if sometimes I may also be wrong. No worries. See whatever I've written is correct or not. Verify and then say yes or no. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Please see, just all you have to do is see the substitution. Formula is there for you, right? Formula I've written for your convenience over here. Just substitute and tell me if the answer is, if the substitution is right or not. Yes. Go ahead. Try. Yes. Do it. We are waiting. Don't worry. We are waiting. Yeah. This is the formula which relates phase difference and path difference. Okay, this one is phase difference delta phi, whereas delta x is path difference.
Yes, sir.
What? Yes, are you okay, or are you comfortable, or do you want me to change something here?
No, no, sir. It's correct,
It's
sir.
correct. Okay, okay, great. Thank you for your
Yes.
contribution. Good, right? Okay, good. Now let us now, class, remember this as something which we should never forget, right? The concept of constructive and destructive interference. Now, what is constructive? Constructive means the amplitude gets added up. Destructive means the amplitude negatively impact each other. So let's say I have one wave of this sort. Okay, frequency should be same. Okay, now I have another wave of this sort. Now these waves come together. Okay, they interfere. They're traveling in the same direction. It's very important. They're traveling in the same direction, because if they'll travel in the opposite direction, then standing wave will be formed. We don't want a standing wave. Right now we are discussing, see here, recall, this was interference, then we'll reach standing waves and beats. Right now we are seeing just interference, right? So when these two will come together, what will be the impact? Something like this. If this was higher amplitude, this was lower amplitude, then we'll get somewhere in between like this. Is it clear to everyone? Let's say, suppose what happens is this kind of interference happens. The phase difference was not same. So let's say this plus this one. See here, they are in opposite phase. They are in opposite phase. See here, when one is forming maxima, the other one is forming minima, right? Then what happens? Tell me. Their amplitude should decrease. Their amplitude should, in fact, I'm so sorry here. I have drawn a wrong diagram. This one will be this way. The amplitude should increase, because both are in same phase. See here, both are in same phase. That means, Atul, tell me, therefore phase difference should be, if two things are in same phase, that is phi 1 is equal to phi 2, then phase difference should be 0. Phase difference should be 0,
Same
right?
phase. Okay. Yes,
Now,
sir.
whenever phase difference is 0, the amplitudes will get added up and it will become a bigger wave. It will become a wave with bigger amplitude. See here, we'll see that. Okay, no worries. How about this one? Here, they are in opposite phase. They are in opposite phase. We'll call this as a phase difference of 180. Phase difference of 180. So the amplitudes will get subtracted and it will be even a lesser amplitude than the smallest one. So it will be something like this. Are we clear with this, Atul? Or sometimes it
Yes,
might
sir.
be, in fact, it might not be as low as this, but then yeah, we can have, let's say this can be the, are we clear? Are we clear? The amplitude is decreasing in second case, right? Whereas it is increasing in the first case. This is the example of constructive, the first one. The second one is an example of destructive interference. Are we clear with this, Atul?
Yes, sir.
Class, let us see this example. So maybe when I'll also ask every one of you, right, if you're clear or not, but let's see this example, right? Suppose you have here, suppose path difference, or let's say phase difference is 0. Phase difference is 0. In second case, phase difference is 180. Can you tell me, Karuna, what will be cause of phase difference? What will be cause of phase difference here? Yeah.
So, 1.
Cos of 0, right, which is equal to 1. Now can you tell me what is the formula that we had learned for amplitude? Net amplitude is given by, tell me, we just learned, no? Here,
So
this one,
root
read it properly. Net amplitude is given by
root of a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi.
Where what is phi? Phi is phase difference. Phi is, what is
Phase
phi?
difference.
Phase difference
Phase.
between two waves, है ना? Phi is phase difference. Actually, it is phase constant of one wave, but coincidentally, in this question, it is phase difference. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see here. I write it. So for a constructive interference, what will happen? Let's say phase difference is 0. So you'll have A is equal to under root of, let's say, a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2. Cos phi is 0. Cos phi is 0. That is cos 0. What will it give us? Tell me, Karuna. a1 square
Root of a1 square plus a2 square.
plus 2a1 a2.
Yeah, 2a1 a2.
This should give you, this is the expansion of a1 plus a2 whole square, right or wrong? And then
Yes,
a
sir.
root over it. Then a root over it. So root over it will give you result as a1 plus a2, right? a1 plus a2. So whenever you have constructive interference, class, whenever you have constructive interference, the maximum amplitude is given as a1 plus a2. a1 plus a2. And whenever there is destructive interference, then what will be the minimum amplitude? Try this. Try it here. Yes, Karuna, tell me, what should be cos of, delta phi or phase difference? Yeah, tell me, cos of 180
0,
is
sir.
equal to,
0.
Pakka, it's -1. Cos of 180 is,
-1.
don't forget this. Are you sure of what I'm saying? Maybe it's 0. Just confirm.
Yes. It's
Confirm. Tell
-1.
me. Don't just agree blindly. Let me know if I'm incorrect, right? Yeah. So now tell me the substitution. Yes, Karuna.
Root of a1 square plus a2 square minus 2a1 a2.
Very good. This is the expansion of,
Which is the a1 minus a2 the whole square.
very good. So this will become a1 minus a2. This is the value of minimum amplitude, right? When will it happen? When there is destructive interference. Are we clear with this now, Karuna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, class. Everyone, if you are clear with these concepts until here, just try this question. Try this question. It will even clarify it further. Even if you are not clear, still try. It will bring you that clarity. Yes, it will bring you that clarity. Go ahead and see. I am giving you, there are two waves. Y1 is equal to 4 sine of omega t plus kx plus pi by 3, right? And y2 is equal to 3 cos of omega t plus kx plus pi by 2. You're given two questions, okay? Now you're being told, write down the amplitude of resulting wave. Write down the amplitude of resulting wave. Yeah, this is the question. Also, I'll give one more question later. First, try this. What is the amplitude of resulting wave? Mahila, can you try? Yes. Yes, Mahila. Tell us the formula. What is the net resultant amplitude formula? Tell us. Yes, Mahila, try.
Yes, sir.
Just tell us the formula. We'll try it here only. Yeah. A is
Yes,
equal to,
sir. Del pi is equal
A
to
is
pi by
equal
3.
to, no. A, formula for amplitude. A is equal to,
Yes, sir. A1 squared plus A2 squared plus 2A1 plus A2 cos pi.
what is phi here, Karuna? Oh, sorry. What is phi here, Mahila?
Sir,
It is
sir, it's phase constant.
phase difference. It is phase difference.
Sorry, it's phase difference.
Phase difference, right? Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
tell me one thing. What is the value of A1 here in the question?
Sir,
Amplitude.
it's 4.
Amplitude is 4. Very good. Very good. What is amplitude of the second wave?
It's 3, sir.
Very good. Very good. What about the phase difference? What is phase first of all? For the first wave, this is the phase. This is the phase for the second wave. Now, tell me how will you find out the difference between the two and find it out and calculate difference of phase? Yes, tell me. What is the difference of phase between them? Yeah, try.
So 1 sec, sir.
No, just it is visual. See here, this entire term will get cancelled. When you cancel them out, right? Then what remains? Pi by 2 minus pi by 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Simple.
Yes, sir.
Just by visual inspection, you can get the answer. Need not take your copy and pen. Simple. See, if I write, let's
Yes.
say, I'll give you one example, okay? So let's say you have something like this. Suppose I tell you, sine of 90, right, plus x. And let's say I tell you cos of 60 plus x. Can you find out the difference of phase in these two cases? Yes. Difference of phase. See, what is the phase for first one? Phi 1. Tell me how much is it?
The 90 degree
No, no, no.
plus x.
Plus x. Phase is 90 plus x. Similarly, what is the phase for second one?
60 plus x.
Very good. Very good. Now I say difference of phase. Difference of phase. Tell me now, how much should it be? 90 plus x minus of 60
Minus
plus x.
60
Right?
plus.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now,
So its answer will be pi by 2 minus pi by 3. That
pi by
one.
3. Yes, do it. Pi by 2 minus pi by 3. That is
Pi by
90
3.
minus 60 degree. How much is it? 30 degree, right?
Yes.
Which is pi by 6.
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Is this example telling you the purpose? Is it clarifying the purpose for you? That we are subtracting the phase of one wave. See, we are subtracting the phase of one wave and the other wave and getting the phase difference. So actually in this formula, it will be even better if you all write instead of cos phi, cos of delta phi. I think that will create no confusion. So here this is phase difference. This is phase difference. Are we now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mahila, now do the substitution. Tell me the answer. Yeah. 4 square.
Yes.
Tell me. 4 square.
Sir,
plus
it's
3 square.
4 squared plus 3 squared plus 2 into 4 into 3.
Yes. Into
Cos
of
5 by 6.
pi
5 by 6.
5 by 6. Very good. Very good. Tell me what the answer comes out to be. 16 plus 9
Sir, it's
plus 24
cos of
cos of 30. How much is it? Root 3 by 2?
yes, sir. It's root 3 by 2.
Okay, so you get the answer as 25 plus 12 root 3.
12
Right?
plus yes, sir.
12 root 3. Are we correct? Are we clear? Sure?
Yes, sir.
Very sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Now class, we have discovered one formula, that is A is equal to under root of A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 2A1 A2 cos phi. Okay. Now let me introduce you all in case you all don't know what is intensity, right? So intensity is basically the power. Intensity is basically the power or which is being transported per unit area per unit time, right? So it is basically, or in fact per unit time is not the right answer. It can be called as power being transported per unit area or energy per unit area per unit time being transported. Because how did we define wave? wave is something which is carrying energy. That means wave is carrying intensity along with it. Wave is carrying intensity along with it. So what will be the value of intensity, class? What will be the relation for intensity? See here, we have energy is actually proportional to a square. Energy is proportional to a square. Therefore, intensity I is proportional to a square, right? Therefore, intensity I is proportional to a square. So we can write, I here is equal to, so what does this expression become basically? This expression, let us first write this expression in terms of amplitude only. This becomes a square is equal to a1 square plus a2 square, right, plus 2a1 a2 cos of phase difference. Okay, now Atul, can you tell me how can I write this in terms of intensity? Same funda what we had used last time in thermodynamics. Whenever two quantities are proportional, we can replace one quantity by other. Do you remember? Not exactly the
Yes, sir.
same, but somewhere if on both sides you have the same value, then the constant will get cancelled, right? So I'll also have
Yes.
I1 is proportional to A1 square. Similarly, I2 or intensity of the second wave is proportional to the square of its
Yes, two
amplitude.
square.
Now let us replace
Yes.
all the A terms, A square terms by I terms. Tell me what you'll get here. Yeah. Instead of A,
I square
we'll have
equals
I.
to,
Instead
sorry,
of
I equals to,
I equal to
uh,
I1
I, I equals to
plus
I1 plus I2,
plus 2
I2 plus
under root
root
I1
I1,
under root I2
I2
into cos of.
cos delta phi.
Sure, are you clear with this? Pakka?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let's say I'm talking about constructive interference. Let's say I'm talking about constructive interference. What is value of cos phi in that case? Plus 1. What is the value of cos phi? Plus 1, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
I
Yes,
will
sir.
be equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 under root I1 I2, right? This can be written as I1 square plus root of I1 square plus root of I2 square plus 2 root I1 I2, that is root of I1 plus I2 whole square, right? Correct? This is the value of maximum intensity whenever constructive interference is taking place. Whenever destructive interference is taking place, that time cos of delta phi is equal to how much? Minus 1. Therefore, minimum intensity will be I1 plus I2 minus 2 under root I1 I2, which is under root of I1 minus under root of I2 whole square. So class, we get in case of constructive interference, intensity is maximum, and in case of destructive interference, intensity of wave is minimum. Resulting intensity, this is resulting intensity, and is given by under root of I1 plus under root of I2 whole square whole by under root of I1 minus under root of I2 whole square. Similarly, we got A max is equal to A1 minus A2, right? Similarly, we got A minimum, sorry, plus A2, and we got A minimum is equal to A1 minus A2, correct? Please note down these formulas. These are formulas for resultant intensities and amplitude, maximum and minimum case, right? In case of constructive and destructive interference. This is constructive, right? This one's destructive. Yeah. Class, once you write down these formulas, please raise your hand, right? Class, this page, is everyone done? A max and A minimum, how did we derive for destructive and constructive interference? If done, please raise your hand. If this formula is done, Please raise your hand. This is for constructive, this is for destructive. Okay. If this page is done, please raise your hand. Okay. What about the next page? In case you write down this second page also, please raise your hand. Yes, class. Written? Once written, please raise your hand. Yeah. Derivation of maximum intensity and minimum intensity. I believed it is important for all of you. That is why I've covered it, right? Should we move ahead now, class? If yes, please raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, next page. If written, please bring your hands down. If written this side, please raise your hand. Bring your hand down if written this page. Done, class? If done, please raise your hand. Yes. Okay, sorry, bring your hands down. I think all are brought down. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Class, so this was all about different kinds of concepts based on maximum intensity, minimum intensity, constructive interference, destructive interference, different things we saw, right? Now, very important. Let us come to the concept of standing waves, right? So I'm explaining these things because some of you had told me that your concepts are not very strong with regard to oscillation and waves. So I'm taking this for all of you as concepts first and then numericals, right? So standing waves. What does a standing wave mean? A wave which is not moving. It is standing. It is stationary. So recall we had learned the equation of, we had seen the equation of progressive wave. See here, this was the equation, this one. I'll shade it, okay? So this was the equation for the one which I'm shading on the left hand side, right? This one is the equation for this one is an equation for a progressive wave. Which wave? Progressive wave. Karuna, which wave is it? Which wave is it, Karuna? Progressive wave.
Progressive.
Yes, progressive wave means wave which is progressing or moving. Whereas when we talk about a standing wave, so this is a wave which is not moving, and its general equation is given as y is equal to let's say it is formed using two waves y1 and y2, right? Superimposition of two waves y1 and y2. First of all, what is the condition? The condition is that the wave should be coming from opposite direction. Karuna, now will you remember that waves coming from opposite directions don't cause interference, they cause
And
standing
standing.
waves. Don't do this mistake, okay? Yeah. So let's say we have two waves coming from opposite directions. They interfere, they superimpose each other and form a standing wave, right? So in such a phenomena, it can happen basically in three different cases. It can happen in three different cases. We'll see all the cases, okay? Now, this is basically the concept of standing waves, right? Now equation, let us see the equation. So let's say there are two sources. Let's say y1 is one source. Let's say this is y1. Let's say displacement of the second wave is given by y2. So y1 is a sine omega t minus kx, right? And here y2 is equal to a sine, tell me, Karuna, it should be plus kx or minus kx? Next one.
plus kx.
Why?
So opposite direction.
Because they're coming from opposite directions. Now I hope you won't do this mistake, right? Okay. Now,
Yes.
Anukriti, can you tell me, uh, if I add them two, if I add these two, what should be the resultant amplitude, Anukriti?
2a.
Why? How come so easily you have told?
No, it will. No, they will cancel
What
each
is the,
other out.
huh?
Will they cancel each other out? Like,
I don't know. You try telling me.
hmm,
See, basically here the phase difference is 90. How much is it? Or
90.
basically I'll not say. Wait. I'll not say. You try. I'll not say anything. Phase difference is not 90. In fact, you want to try, or you want me to tell you the answer?
So I want you to tell it.
Okay. Okay. So see here, what you're going to do is add them up. Take a sine omega t minus kx plus a sine omega t plus kx. Okay. When you add them
Okay.
up, you will get an equation. You will get an equation. Do you remember we had done this equation, sine c plus sine d? Can you recall
Yes, sir.
what is the
Sine c
formula?
plus sine d is 2 sine c plus d by 2.
So do it here. C plus d. Take this as c. Take this as d.
Okay. Omega t minus kx
Sine 2 sine c plus sine d. I'll write the
plus,
formula for reference on the right side. Yeah, tell me the formula.
okay,
Sine c plus sine
uh,
d
d minus,
is equal to 2 sine c plus d by
okay,
2
2
into
sine
cos
c plus d by 2 minus sine,
into cos
okay,
c minus
cos
d
c
by 2.
plus d by, c minus d by 2.
Cos c minus d by 2. Please remember these formulas very properly, right? Because if you don't, they might create some trouble somewhere. Okay. So 2 sine c plus d
C
by
plus d by 2
into cos
cos c minus d
minus
by
d
2.
by 2. Right? Substitute them here. Yeah.
Okay, omega t,
Take a common. First of all,
2
take a
omega
common,
t.
right? Take a common.
Yes, okay.
Right? Now you have sine of omega t minus kx